Hello everybody, I'm Andrej, and yes, the title of this video is partially a provocation. But let me give you a little bit of context. I've been playing, composing, recording music on my own basically since I was 14, for more than 20 years at this point. And I'm not scared to say that I'm a big fan of the DIY approach. It is a core practice of my work for many reasons, both tangible and ethical. DIY is a philosophy that allows everyone to work toward their interests and with their potential. It is a drive that allows everyone, regardless of their education, origin and class, even in a scarcity of material resources, to change the world around them, not only in the art field. DIY can be a way to avoid consumeristic and exploitative behaviors, to defy power logics with grassroots ideas and practices, to create, to regenerate objects and situations. DIY in the last decades has been the core of all of the countercultures that try to imagine an alternative to the world we live in. Speaking about art and music in particular, just think about punk or the early rave culture movements. But the DIY approach has also a limit when it faces our contemporary reality. In an hyper-individualistic society dominated by technology, most of the time DIY can be easily closed in our own four walls, because we don't need other people to make stuff. Consumer technology is easily available and it facilitates a lot of operations that a few years ago were unthinkable for common users. The access to the information through the internet is really at hand. You just need to type something on your phone to reach everything. DIY can become an isolated, alienated process under the false idea that the tools are enough. It can become a process that enhances our individualistic feelings, that can make us feel alone, like a bedroom musician who never goes outside and plays for other people or make them listen to the music they created. But music is an inherently social type of expression, not only in the final result, but also in the process. Doing stuff for your own pleasure is totally valid too, of course, but what I consider important in the DIY approach are also the consequences and the messages that such practice can spread. Through it you can create scenes, cultural movements and an overall shift in the world dynamics. So my provocative title comes from this, and there's a second part: do it together, don't do it yourself. In my artwork, I've always followed the DIY approach. On the other hand, in the last years I discovered more and more the value of doing stuff together with other people. I love to involve them in my projects or being involved in theirs. So for my new album I wanted to take this idea on a completely new level. I wanted it to be played, composed, recorded, filmed and drawn together by musicians, engineers, video makers, visual artists, and everyone had to have an high degree of creative freedom. From this collective effort, Implosions was born. Implosions is the follow-up of Destroy Everything, Destroy Everyone from 2022. And it starts from that point. Harsh noise, no input mixers and feedback, power electronics. A sound that represents and at the same time is an opposition to the world we live in. Destroy Everything, Destroy Everyone was composed, played and recorded completely on my own, in my own studio, with no human interaction. It was a firm point in my personal music, but it also resonated with many people. I took it live many times, alone and together with my friend Ruben at the saxophone. In the last years, I had the chance also to play with many amazing musicians from all over the world. Connections and relationships were created, a lot of friends and music made. I learned how powerful these human bonds can become and their value. With Implosions, I wanted to explore the concepts and the timbres of Destroy Everything, Destroy Everyone, but in a new way, Following what I learned and felt, I wanted to create a project that involved many people who resonated with what I did and my approach. Luckily, it wasn't difficult. Just a couple of messages and they all accepted. Something was moving toward that direction. Musicians, videomakers, visual artists. Instantly, the project grew bigger and bigger and involved other collaborators, international artists and galleries and so on, like an avalanche. Everyone just resonated with it and found a ground where they can create their own project in a tentacular way that surprised me a lot. I'm so grateful for that. Of course, it took also a lot of time, a year and a half, from the first chats and meetings, but it was totally worth the wait and the effort. So now I'm super happy to share with you Implosions, out on December the 5th. Musically speaking, we created this album organically in the studio. I had a couple of chats before with Camilla, Giorgio, Nicole and Ruben. We listened to some music that inspired me and that I wanted to be influential, or that shared a vibe with what I wanted to do. I wrote down a couple of scores with concepts and ideas, no notes, no harmony, nor melody or rhythms, just the overall idea of the tracks. And then we entered the studio. Through the practice of improvisation, we created all together the final album that resonates with all of our backgrounds and the interplay we had in those 3 days in the recording studio. For this reason, Implosions is a collective work under the name of Andreij Rublev. It is more of the sum of the single parts. It is something that cannot exist without everyone's personal creative force. With Paolo, we decided to record the whole studio session to share with you the process, show you how it was made in the moment it was made. The process is important as much as the result. It was a huge work with 10 cameras and hours of footage to edit, but the final result is a 45 minutes long documentary that includes the full album and it will be available at the release date. But that's just part of it. Paolo wanted also to record an original video clip for a track. In collaboration with the European Culture Center in Venice, he filmed more than 30 international artists' work during Personal Structures Beyond Borders exhibition in 2024. Every artist was happy to share their art with us and make it part of this project. Then he edited the footage to create a new visual journey. The single of the track World War III Escalation Process is available here somewhere. Another hint of how this project expanded in unexpected and worldwide directions. The artwork is made by Eviak, who also created the cover for the previous album Destroy Everything. His rendition of the concept of implosions blew us away, a compressed cube of bodies and drawn one by one that are melted into a liquid circuit. This crazy visual work inspired us also to make a very special physical edition of the album. Beside the double CD1 printed in a 7-inch gatefold package, because I like big artworks and I wanted to honor Eviak's amazing one, we decided to make a physical cube. This version is a non-SD card and recalls the orange circuit and the cube shape. It is a minimal object that transforms the ephemeral and immaterial digital files into something solid, a rigid shape that contains and compresses the music in it. The 3D model and prints were made by my brother Francesco, who jumped into this project too and created this beautiful design, another unexpected turn that added a lot to this DIY collective work.
Ok, potete fare tutti e tre alla camera.
Importante,
Sì.
però un po' più secondo me coeso. Boom, però.
No, ci sta, graduale e coerente.
Molto così.
Avrei voluto far lui.
No, questo è un finale perfetto questo.
Questo è il fischio che hai il dubbio se non ce l'hai tu.
Esatto.
Forse è dentro il tuo orecchio ormai.
Onesto.
Bene, bello.
E poi si apre. In conclusion, music is one of the most powerful type of expression, and it is inherently social. The connections that making music and listening to it create are uncountable. So don't be scared to join other people, to ask them to play with you, to perform live for an audience, to generate culture that starts from sounds and human relationships. That's it for this video. I hope you got the idea. Doing stuff with people means to open windows and doors from a small circle around you to the wide world and be able to make something that alone we cannot do. Together is better.